Demons Discuss, Take 50, The One with the Enigma.
Welcome to Demons Discuss, the unofficial podcast about the All Souls universe and the topics that orbit it. We are your hosts, Angela, Jean, and Valerie. I'm Valerie, and with me is Angela and Jean. Hi, guys.
Hello, greetings, everyone.
Hey. What are we talking about today, Jean?
It's Take 50, so you know what that means.
What does that mean?
A character study on the 10s.
On the 10s.
We're like the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Weather on the 8s.
And today, we get to talk to that girl with that way awesome wardrobe, Miriam.
On the TV show.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this off, like
Book Miriam.
on the, Book Miriam and TV show Miriam had a slight variation on the same Hot Topic type of thing, type of vibe. I wouldn't say exactly Hot Topic on the TV show. She's pretty badass on the TV show.
I want to live in her closet on the TV show. Just saying. Right, I do kind of live in her closet on the TV show.
Yeah, you do.
I saved everything. What am I saying?
Oh, God. So, how we wound up with this character study, because we were shaky on this for a little while because we know that we had to get to Shadow of Night. We're trying to get through Shadow of Night before the next season starts. However, we're like, let's throw it to the listeners, and the listeners took a vote. So here's the dichotomy. On our Facebook group, most people voted for chapters. In the discusser emails, most people voted for character study. So character study won, but by a margin of 2. So here you go, guys. And for those of you not getting your chapter, you'll get it next time. Okay. So everybody will be happy. And there we go. So this podcast is sponsored by our wonderful listeners. These people are the ones we owe everything to. And in turn, these are the people that we care about pleasing besides amusing ourselves, you know? And why shouldn't we? Our listeners are the ones most invested in our success, literally. They throw us cash for resources. And in turn, what do we do for them, Angela?
Well, we provide an after show. So when we're not doing our regular show to the public, they get an additional dose of demons. And on the off weeks, they get an after show. And that can range, if you listen to the last one especially, sometimes you just don't know. We scramble at the last minute. We scramble during to see what you're going to get.
I think it was Grim Reaper somehow and Ghosts and... Yeah. And then how whack we did on the freaking book club question.
Right. Basically, we say, demons, we're just like you.
So if you want to witness that travesty, that was the last. Our last
travesty.
show. It was kind of funny, though. So if you're interested in becoming a patron, go to patreon.com/Demons Discuss. $2. We'll get you in there with the after show, put you on our list of beautiful sponsors, and all will go well. Yay!
We have a motto around here, do better. We'll try this week for the after show.
We were so rusty. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. That takes us to discusser emails. Who's got something for us?
I do.
Okay.
I have one. I think this is the first time writing in from Brenna. She says, "Hi, demons. I actually have a few thoughts on Miriam and her backstory. We know from the All Souls Companion that she's of North African and Semitic descent with over 1,000 years by the time the Crusades and has a dark, shadowy past. But we don't know the particulars of the said past, which I find rather disappointing. I don't know. I think all in due time. Based on her genetic heritage and her namesake, I've always assumed that Miriam was Jewish and that she originally hailed from Levant in her human life. I also have this headcanon that Miriam witnessed the fall of Jerusalem when Nebuchadnezzar invaded in the 6th century BC, and that she was turned at this time to ensure the safety of her family when they were exiled. Now, I don't have any textual evidence to back this up, but with what we know of Miriam's personality, I think her loyalty and selflessness would have been established early on, long before she met Matthew and promised to keep him safe." Well, Brenna, we are nothing if not theorizing around here, so we appreciate theory. I hope to hear from you guys on Friday. Wish granted, Brenna. XOXO, Brenna.
Thank you, Brenna. And I think this is actually the second time we're hearing from Brenna.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. So thanks for writing back. Glad we didn't scare you off the first time. Who's next?
I have one from Christine.
Oh, thanks, Christine.
Hi, demons. Character study on Miriam. Great choice. She's a complex character and one I'd love to learn even more about. First, she protects Matthew because she promised her mate to do so after way too short a time with him. He died for Matthew in the de Clermonts and made her promise to keep up the job. It is truly a strong person to not blame Matthew for his death. I love her strength, and seeing her as mother to Phoebe shows much more of her character and strength. She is small, courageous, and very smart. I would never want to be put up against her. She has a strong heart, and as shattering as heartbreaking as parts of her life has been, she keeps moving forward. She stands up to Matthew when she needs to, but I know he listens to her too. She has a wisdom that comes from many losses. It seems few women lead families, and yet she is ahead of hers, as small as it is, and she is up to the task. I love that she uses all the resources she has available to her and uses them wisely. Miriam is a force in and of herself, and the Claremonts, but especially Matthew, need to acknowledge how lucky they are to have her. Take care, demons. Though I can't make the con this year, I hope our paths cross again someday. Until then, I'll keep listening and responding as I am able. Sincerely, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
I have one from Chloe. Hello, Chloe. She says, "Hi, demons. I love Miriam, so I was really excited to get this email. Miriam is a series of contradictions and mystery, to quote Winston Churchill. Miriam is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside of an enigma." So, okay, just for transparency, Enigma, the title, Jean came up with that, but then later on I was like, did we do that before? And I recognized it from your email, Chloe. So well done. Yay. Her relationship with Matthew leaves a lot of questions about her life as a vampire with Bertrand and why she has still remained so loyal to Matthew all these centuries later. We wonder too.
Right. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Her fascination with science makes me wonder what she's like when she was human. Did she develop this before being turned, or was it after? In Time's Convert, even though she's strict, you can see Miriam enjoys parenting and had children, though most died. I would want to know more about that. Those are my thoughts. I would rant for hours, but I know you need to read other emails. Thanks for the show. I love it. Your Vampire Down Under, Chloe. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you
Chloe.
for your consideration.
Yay. Angela, you have the next one?
I do. I have one from Chi. She says, "Hello. Miriam is one of my favorite characters in the trilogy. She is badass vampire who's intelligent, fierce, and loyal. Matthew Claremont and the clan are so lucky to have her in their pack. I like Miriam, the books, and Miriam, the TV adaptation. I think the actress Aisha Hart plays Miriam well. The costume department did pretty good job for dressing Miriam as a character. Her wardrobe is to die for. I hope Miriam will find a love interest or a companion someday. At the end of the day, it's a long journey for a vampire to go through a lifetime after a lifetime alone. It would also be fun to see her having a fling with Chris, the scientist. Thanks for reading my ramblings, and thank you for your dedication. See you in Cardiff, Chi."
Thank you, Chi. And Chi is a new discusser, so welcome to Discusserdom, Chi. Yay.
Yay.
I have one from our goddess, Melanie. Hello, Melanie.
Hello, Mel.
And she says, "Hey, lovely demons. I have to admit that on my first few reads of the All Souls trilogy, I didn't think very much of Miriam. She was a supporting character of the trilogy, but I didn't think she played a major role in moving the plot forward, other than being somewhat hilarious, annoying sidekick." I think what added to that is how she plays her cards very close to the vest. She gives a bit here and there, but mostly keeps her thoughts to quips and jabs. I think that it wasn't until I started listening to your podcast that I started to wonder about her more and became more intrigued with her character. What is her history? How has that influenced her? She's such a strong female. How did that play out in her human years and throughout her early vampire years? How did she become so dedicated to Matthew? Yes, I know Bertrand was close to him, but I would think it would be so difficult to be beholden to someone who is the cause of your mate's death. I love seeing more of her on her sire's side in Time's Convert, which definitely fleshed out her character a bit more. And I also think that seeing Aisha Hart's interpretation of the character has made her much more interesting and badass. The coat swing really needs to be made into a GIF. I can't wait to see what's in store for the show. Let's see. Yeah, Miriam, I hope we get more of her in any future novels from Deb. Kisses to you all, and can't wait to see you all in Cardiff. Melanie. Thank you, Melanie.
Thanks, Mel.
And that was it for our Discusser email. So that means we're going to start the wagon and let you know that this chapter discussion is brought to you by Shelley Carter.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks, Shelley.
Okay, since we're doing a character study, we're kind of loosey-goosey. And we're going to start with when we first met her.
Ooh.
And when we first met her was in the Bodleian.
Do we have a passage?
Oh,
sorry, I don't have the passage up, but I'm asking.
I'll look it up.
All right,
it's. Hey, guess what I have? It's an ebook. To the chapters. Get me to the... Do you remember which chapter that was around
6,
when?
it says.
Okay, here we go. We met her with this. A diminutive girl was stacking up papers and file folders in the second alcove. She was dressed in a long, baggy brown sweater that reached almost her knees. When she turned, I was startled to see a full-grown adult. Her eyes were amber and black and as cold as frostbite. Even without their touch, her luminous pale skin and unnaturally thick, glossy hair gave her away as a vampire. Snaky waves of it undulated around her face, and over her shoulders she took a step towards me, making no disguise. The swift, sure movements gave me a withering glance. This was clearly not where she wanted to be, and she blamed me. Miriam, Claremont called softly, walking out into the center aisle. He stopped short, and a polite smile shaped his lips. Dr. Bishop. Good morning. He raked his fingers through his hair, which only made him look more artfully tousled. I patted my own hair self-consciously and tucked away a stray strand behind my ear. Good morning, Professor Claremont. Back again, I see. Yes, but today I won't be joining you in the Selden Inn. They've been able to accommodate us here where we won't disturb anybody. The female vampire rapped a stack of papers sharply against the top of the desk. Claremont smiled. May I introduce my research colleague, Dr. Miriam Shepherd. Miriam, this is Dr. Diana Bishop. Dr. Bishop, Miriam said coolly, extending her hand in my direction. I took it and felt a shock of the contrast between her tiny cold hand and my own larger, warmer one. I began to draw back, but her grip grew firmer, crushing the bones together. When she finally let go, I had to resist the urge to shake out my hand. So this is where we met Miriam. What were your impressions throughout this? I mean, throughout this chapter and the next several chapters when we encounter Miriam.
Oh, man. The first word in my head was officious.
Officious. That's a good word.
Yeah.
I like it.
I knew someone just like her. She worked with me and she was whip smart, intelligent, just no nonsense. I mean, say how you feel, say what you think. In fact, she was small. Miriam is described as 5 feet in the world of all souls, but I would say this person was maybe 4'10", 4'11", but slender. And you were intimidated to ask her a question like that, even in the normal course of business, because.
Yeah.
Well, and don't you just wonder too, especially over the millennia that she has seen, a petite woman to begin with has a hard time because everybody wants to infantilize you. I mean, first you get mansplained and then you get infantilized on top of it because you're tiny and petite. And I mean, even Diana thought it was a child until she turned around.
Right.
I can see exactly why she's officious and no nonsense and doesn't sugarcoat and pulled the whole handshake power play. I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't fault her for it. I kind of like that she wasn't going to back down at all to Matthew or anybody else. And here's another thing, as you read it out loud for the first time that really occurs to me. Matthew showed his tell right there. What was he worried about?
With his hair.
What was he worried about right there? What Miriam was going to do?
Yeah.
I know.
Possibly the meeting.
It's like,
That's a good call.
Yeah, very good call.
Good call. Because, he only does that when he's
when something bad may be going down or he's realizing his idea may not have been so good.
Yeah, this might have been bad. Why am I introducing these
What
two?
am I thinking?
These two fiery women meeting each other. I don't know. This could end bad. So, yeah, you're right. When I met her, I thought of my mother. When she was younger, I don't think this woman, she claimed she was 5 feet, but she was like 4'10", 4'11". We used to laugh because she used to weigh the least in our house when I was a teenager, but you could hear her upstairs because she would stomp.
She's deliberate.
You could hear her traveling down the hall. And I don't think she weighed more than 120 pounds. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, she stomps like that. And then if she wanted to get in your face, she always made sure she was like, we had a house where there were a lot of steps, like a step down into, this is in the 70s, step down into the living room, step up into the family room. It's kind of weird. She'd always make sure she was in a step above so she can look you in the eye and tell you what she thought of you. So I kind of had that same impression in a younger person, and I did think she was dressing straight out of Hot Topic. So I kind of pictured this gothy girl, kind of a little bit.
Hey now,
semi-goth.
Hey now,
semi-goth. I'm not talking about you.
don't be shaming the goth look.
Oh, I don't care. I think it's great.
We talked about this a little bit before we recorded, but just the preciseness of her snapping down her pencil. I just picture her as like a very precise, I'm going to dot my I, I'm going to cross my T. But if we learn something from Times Convert, how much control that takes. A normal baby vampire would break the pencil, would break the desk, would rip a hole in the paper, dotting an I.
Put a hole in the concrete floor.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she had to let Matthew know that she wasn't pleased without spilling it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you got me doing what? Where? How? Okay, how am I going to do this? I'm going to slam my pencil.
Yeah.
I mean, this first meeting, though, I took her as a junior vampire.
Collie. Yeah.
Me too. And is she older than Matthew?
By a lot.
Yeah, by a lot. Yeah, exactly. Because he said, my assistant? What did he say?
My research colleague.
My research colleague.
She knew better than to call her assistant.
Well, but that's the thing, though. That's something my mind did. My mind put her in that assistant category. So, yeah, maybe size is a thing because I'm thinking, oh, she's small.
Right.
She's tiny but fierce. Maybe that's who Shakespeare was talking about.
Right. And Matthew seems to be giving her orders. So I thought subordinate. My mind automatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I also didn't know this world. And we didn't even know how old Matthew was at this point. I didn't realize that vampires could be, it didn't occur to me. I mean, obviously it can be, but that she could be that old.
Well, here's the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting. I think Deb almost subconsciously led us that way because we also, later on down the line, when Isabeau gives Diana the lecture about you need to listen to Matthew because he's the strongest vampire in the house.
Yeah.
I think there's a subliminal way that while Miriam knows better than Matthew, that she's still deferential to the quote unquote strongest vampire in the house, who's Matthew.
Right.
Even with the fact he's a mess.
Yeah. Mess doesn't factor in the strongest vampire in the house. Well, that just adds to it.
Yeah. The hot mess just amplifies everything. But I mean, even in this introductory passage, you get that whole sense of vampire hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also, I misled myself. It wasn't anything in the text, but because she's paired up with Marcus so frequently in the lab, and then we find out his history, a little bit of it. That
we have more
a
of him
baby.
than her.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of it is we don't get any kind of clue otherwise until after Juliet's attack, and she says, slow your roll, Matthew. I've been taking care of warm bloods long before you were even a vampire. And that's like, oh boy.
Whoa.
Right. That was like a big fat what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
So we'll probably compare book and TV, Miriam, but what do you make of, and I think it's kind of fascinating actually, that she's described with luminous pale skin, and in the world of All Souls, she has a dark complexion. So I take it this is, a Discovery Witches 101, where Deb is fleshing out her characters, and maybe Miriam showed her who she really is. And that's the change, which I find fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clear picture in my mind what she actually was, or I just know she had pale skin and dark hair.
Yeah.
And
And I think for me, I thought she was, like Angela said, I before World of All Souls came out, I got to the point where she's definitely Semitic, maybe Jewish, maybe of some sort of Arabic descent. When Deb gave us the clues about what her scent, which was the gabalum and the pomegranate, which is all from Lebanon, Israel, the Holy Land, from that part of the world, which is kind of led me to the fact that she's probably of Arabic descent.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember thinking about her height, though, that if she seemed childlike. And I thought, well, how small was she before she was a vampire? If that rule applies that when you're a vampire, you get slightly larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
the book
very
rule.
petite.
I don't know. The TV show, she looked like a Miriam to me.
Yes.
Immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, she's tall, but she's also always wearing those sky-high boots.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
But she is tiny.
Yes.
And she's fast. And I know Marcus said something about that in the end of Discovery Witches, where she was trying to take the lab results to Diana so she can see, and Matthew was really pissed at her. And she's like, I wonder if it's safe to bring her the lab results. And Marcus is like, I don't know. Matthew's kind of mad, and she zipped right by him. It's like, oh, she's kind of fast.
Yeah.
When Sarah's like, whoa, what the hell? It's like, oh yeah, she's really fast. So yeah, I knew she was fast and quick and agile, as she demonstrated on the TV show when she took Juliet down in that one
I love that
scene
scene.
that we didn't get. Yeah. Well, she had to be fast to get there so quick.
Well, yeah. But here's the other thing too, is, I mean, even in the TV show, I still got a sense of her being petite, which probably is like totally counterintuitive, but
everybody on TV is petite in real life.
Well, but
though.
I'm just saying, yeah, she looked fair. We know that Ed is tall and Matthew's tall.
Yeah.
And even though she did seem to have, she didn't seem to be as short as Teresa, she still came across as petite. Even when she was standing with Matthew over by the flower cellar in the square over in Oxford, she still read petite.
Yes.
And that's saying that, I mean, she's wearing larger than life clothes, the coat, the leather pants, the boots. I mean, you don't appear on TV with that wardrobe and still appear petite.
Yeah, no. Well, part of her wardrobe was beefing her up too. Yeah. Like a cobra when they flex themselves. It's part of that. And I noticed that a lot of small people too. They make themselves noticeable because I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I'm tall for a woman. So most people don't miss me coming. I am big and tall and you see me. But if I were ever my mother's height, I think people would be looking straight over my head. You have to do something to make yourself visible. So I don't know. Okay. So and then the next time we meet her, she is pacing Diana on the way to the bookstore to have lunch where she meets Agatha. And what'd you guys think of that? Where Matthew sent her on this fool's errand of following Diana.
I mean, it just reinforced my thought that she was junior.
Yes. Yes. It's like, why would she do this? But,
Yeah. Why would she do it to me? He was treating her as a junior, but on the other hand, she's like, I got to keep a handle on this thing because God knows he's off doing what the fuck ever.
What is going on here? I need to figure out what the hell is going on with this witch
and I'm not
here.
going to get it trailing along with Matthew, so I better just do this.
Right. So do you think the conversation on the TV show where he is in the lab, okay? He's in the lab looking at her picture and she walks in and says, what's going on? And Matthew's saying, she's got the book. She's got the book. And she's like, what? What's really going on? And we didn't see that in the books. Do you think that really happened in Deb's head, that they had that conversation, the Book of Life, that Diana had it, and they had that conversation with Marcus saying, okay, we're going to get the Book of Life. I'm going to talk to Diana Bishop. Yeah, it does make sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how he got her involved, I think. It's like,
well, and when Matthew called her and he's like, did you feel it? Did you feel that too? Our blood is reacting to your book.
That was when we first met her on the TV show, when she's like, did you feel that? Well, she was on the phone. That was the first time we ever saw Miriam. Yeah. So there's a little bit of divergence in action, but I take it because in the books, we only saw Diana. Yeah, we only saw Diana's point of view. So here comes Miriam out of the blue. Meanwhile, she's been back briefed by Matthew this whole time. Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, presentation is everything. Because we're presented with Miriam that way, she doesn't appear to be junior. Although she could have done the same tasks by following Diana and doing the same thing as in the books. But because we get that larger view and that, I don't know, action that happens before the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We get definitely a more omniscient point of view.
Well, and the other thing is, too, is we really only get Matthew working across from her one day in the library, and that's it. Whereas in the books, we have the luxury of a little more time. So you've got him showing up, and then you've got him showing up again with Miriam, and it turning into a thing.
Right.
But with 8 episodes, we didn't have the luxury of that time, just like we didn't have the luxury of having both dinners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true.
So I think the introduction of Miriam with the disturbance of their blood was kind of a way to
bring that forward
and not have the need for more time in the bod.
Yeah.
I like that she established much quicker and larger command of the lab in the TV show, because when Marcus shows up, it's almost like she hasn't seen him in a while. Instead of being a daily colleague, she says, "Hello, Marcus."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And he's
yes.
like,
and then she says, "Not in my lab." Like, so you right away,
she's in charge.
She's in charge, large and in charge.
Yeah. And in the books, when we next meet Miriam, we're meeting her in the lab, and then Marcus runs in with his Converse. And he's like, "Hey, what's up?"
He rolls in on his chair with his Converse.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, God, I love that.
I think you guys have been watching Evil Genius and Friends too much. You're kind of like, those plot lines are seeping into Discovery Witches.
Full disclosure. I've had 3 weeks of Netflix Friends, honestly. Keeping me company at work. Anyway. So what was your impression of her in the lab, in the books and in the TV show? I mean, when Diana was there.
I think even Matthew was a little bit afraid of going against her rules in the lab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was the compliance officer.
It's true. And after that, I don't believe we meet her again until the Bishop House, right?
Not in the books. Yeah.
Yeah, in the books. But we see her throughout in the TV show where she's scolding Matthew and telling him, "Vampires and witches, what are you doing, man?"
Yeah. Dude, I'm the only one who made it. Trust me on this. I just love her in the show, because then she's like, when she's telling Marcus, you need to call Baldwin now.
Yeah. Call Baldwin. Where's my checklist? This is an emergency.
Yeah.
This is a contingency.
And he doesn't even question her. He's just like, "Yes, Miriam."
Yeah. When we meet again in the Bishop House, her and Sarah, you can tell they're both snappy people. Mm-hmm. So that was very interesting. But to see it on the show was better.
Yes. I loved it.
Better. I loved it.
Well, was it when she accidentally time walked? When Miriam's like sitting at the table looking at rocks and whatever and doing her science, like doing her, I'm pretending to do sciencey things, but I'm really kind of just monitoring the situation and eavesdropping thing.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know why I loved it so much, but the look on her face was just brilliant.
Well, and the thing is, we got to see how they did this with Matthew pacing back and forth like an expectant father. And then he's waiting on Diana to show up. And we didn't get to see this in the books, but she's like, "Matthew, relax."
Stop it.
He's like, "What if she gets lost? What if something happens? What if?" And then when Diana shows up, he's like, "I knew you could do it." And I kept thinking Miriam saying bullshit. You didn't know she
right. Well, and what's funny is because she kind of dropped her stuff, and she was surprised. And here she is being the cool one saying, "Matthew, relax." And then she was actually shocked that it happened too.
I know. It's like, oh shit, this bitch can do it.
Yeah.
Oh God. Miriam is really, I think Aisha made her really stand out in the TV show.
I absolutely adore her.
They really brought her into focus, and what a great character she is. I'm a fan now.
I am
after
too.
the TV show.
And not to get into Marcus and Ed Blumell, but these two characters are to me standouts now, and I'm so happy that Times Convert exists so we can get more of them both.
Oh my gosh.
After Times Convert, I was like so in love with her.
Did we even see Miriam? We didn't really see Miriam in Shadow of Night, did we?
No, not at all.
So the next time we see her is in Book of Life, and that's at Yale, isn't it? In the science building? Is that
when
the first time we see her again?
She shows up in Chris's lab,
And she came over and dressed Chris down and let him know that she's in charge of this lab.
Yeah, didn't she come over because Benjamin surfaced somehow?
Oh, that was the phone conversation.
Yeah, she made the call to Matthew.
Yeah, because he called and threatened her or Jason
and put in the video feed so she can see this witch getting tortured. Yeah, we heard from her, and we heard that she was really scared.
Yeah, which was very scary because it was like, Miriam scared, that's not good.
Yeah, she was shaken.
Oh, right. That was at Septour when she first called and said, "Oh, this is the whole reason why they headed back to Madison." Mm-hmm. When she called and she said, "Benjamin, he's calling," and then she was worried about Jason, and there was a lot of things she was worried about.
So look at it from Benjamin's perspective. Why do you think he contacted Miriam?
That's a good question.
To get Matthew's attention.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole nother can of worms. I mean, she was around when that all happened.
Yeah.
And she was like present, as in Jerusalem when all that happened. Yes. And it kind of makes me wonder what kind of independent contact she had had with Benjamin and what she knew about him.
She knew a lot if she was scared shitless.
Yeah. And my other question was too, is it all got really muddy about whether they thought he was still alive or not. But I mean, her reaction wasn't so much, oh my God, Benjamin contacted me. I can't believe he's still alive. But it was like, oh shit, he contacted me.
Oh shit, he still walks this earth.
Yes.
Somebody needs to do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like you said, now that you put it that way, she had the perfect delivery to get Matthew's attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we meet her in the lab and she lets Chris know that this is her lab and we're doing things her way. And I didn't really have a different impression of her in Book of Life as I did in Shadow of Night. Or not Shadow of Night, Discovery of Witches. But we got to see a lot more of her.
Yeah.
Versus the little bomb she dropped at dinner with Sarah in a Discovery of Witches.
Oh, I was so upset we did not get that in the show. Speaking of which, when she just goes, Conceptio.
Yeah.
Yes.
That whole business in the book with her just kind of like you said, throwing her little hand grenades into the conversation.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and keeping score while they're fighting in the other room, all of that. Cause it's like, she's one of those people where it's like, okay,
this info needs to get out. I'm going to do it.
Well, she knows what's going on, and she uses her stature to her advantage because people tend to forget she's around. And like I said, the whole infantilizer habit she has used to her advantage because people underestimate her consistently, I suppose, not just because of her physical presence, but because she looks so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also she was the one that dropped the bomb to Emily and Sarah about Jillian being dead.
Yes.
Now this is strictly book Jillian because TV Jillian's still walking this earth.
Don't get me started about TV Jillian.
Yeah, so she threw that bomb in there and caused a big ruckus, and Sarah about kicked everybody out the house.
Except the house said no.
Yeah. And Emily's crying over Jillian, and we're like, really? Because Jillian's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, right.
You know, there was so many things going on, and I just picture Miriam sitting back and saying, yeah, that did it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My work here is done.
I mean, this would have added nothing for the show whatsoever, but I love the little book bits of Miriam playing Scrabble and using archaic words and, enjoying popcorn and film noir.
Yeah. We saw a lot of that. In Book of Life, we see that she flirts a lot with Chris. What else does she? She wore some really cool t-shirts.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And she became a knight.
I know.
She was one of the first women to become a knight. That was great. It was good to see her kick ass that way. But still, after we finished Book of Life, what did we really know about her?
Not much, other than she was going to toy with the human guy for a while because she was bored.
She needed entertainment.
Yeah.
And, how he's described, I'm sure he was good looking. So why not have a toy?
This is a side note. There's that passage, or Gallowglass. Was it Gallowglass that said, don't let Diana walk through New Haven Green by herself? Even Miriam would be frightened.
Yeah.
You would think twice about it.
Diana said to Chris, don't let Miriam walk through the circle by herself.
It was Miriam. Okay.
Even though she's a vampire, still walk her home.
Okay. So what did I do when I visited New Haven? I got lost and had to cross New Haven Green. It was during the day, so I was relatively safe, but that is like the nucleus of wackadoodles in New Haven. So I can definitely see why he said that, but that's all I could think of, like, oh my God, even Miriam wouldn't be walking through here right now.
I know.
Oh God, that's a lot of blood she's got to suck to calm down the situation.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about her description in the World of All Souls. Shit, do I even have this loaded on my phone? We're about to see.
I've got the physical book, so I found it.
You got it?
Yes, I do.
All right. Get to the Miriam part.
Oh, the Miriam part. Let's start with the meaning of her name. It's Hebrew.
Okay.
It's Hebrew, and it means either wished for child or perhaps rebellious. There you go, right there.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Maybe one more than the other.
I don't see her as rebellious, though, at all.
Well,
just in some actions, I think.
Well, she could be rebellious in that she's one of the first or few female clan heads.
Oh, yeah, this is true, but I don't think that makes her a rebel. Do you think that was by circumstance or by plan that she's a clan head?
I kind of got the impression it was by plan.
Okay. And have we ever established how you become a clan head?
No, Deb's not clear on that yet.
Because I was like, okay, was it because Bertrand is gone?
No, she didn't. I don't think she took over as head of Bertrand's clan, because part of the conversation about her being a clan head had to do with the fact that she had daughters.
Right.
And had built a clan. So it wasn't a matter of her taking over
another clan,
running the clan with Bertrand's children.
Right.
Though
maybe after Bertrand died, Jason became part of her clan.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah. So we're not quite sure how clans are actually formed.
In the world of All Souls, it just says she keeps in touch with Jason. It doesn't really sound like he's in her clan.
Oh, okay. Huh.
But she seems more dutiful to me than rebellious. I mean, by her own choosing. No one's telling her what she should and shouldn't do. She does it all by choice.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So how about her role in watching Matthew?
Oh, gosh. That breaks my heart.
Yeah. So that was because she promised Bertrand
that was basically his deathbed wish or deathbed command to her to keep an eye on him.
Oy.
Talk about a burden. Ugh.
Does she raise her fist in the air and say, "God damn you, Bertrand"?
Yes.
Why? You knew what a mess he was.
That's exactly why he did it.
See, rebellious would be, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Matthew, he is a mess. But the thing is with Matthew, he's such a complex character and everything he goes off to do. I mean, was she still watching over him when he was going off doing poetry? And
that was just before, I think that was just before the poetry in the 12th century was just prior to her meeting
Matthew.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Bertrand and her were together for approximately 50 years. He died because of Eleanor, and she talks about seeing them around Jerusalem, one dark, one bright. So it sounds like Matthew was his wingman when they met and mated, and then Matthew went away. Because when he was mooning about with poetry in the 12th century, that was when he was in Paris and got called back to Jerusalem.
Right.
And then the whole Eleanor thing happened.
Right.
So at least they got a honeymoon period without Matthew and his nonsense.
Was it you who was saying that she wasn't married to Bertrand very long?
Yeah, 50 years. That was it.
Oh my gosh.
That was it. Ugh.
Which is a lot in human terms.
That's a blink of an eye.
I mean, even for Fernando and Hugh was longer than that.
600. They had 6 centuries, and that wasn't enough. And we don't know how many centuries Isabeau and Philippe had.
Philippe were together, yeah.
There you go.
Has Deb said 50?
Yeah, because it says 50. It's 50 in, I think, Times Convert when Phoebe reads her blood.
Got it.
Okay.
It was less than a century.
Ooh. Does it say anything else about Miriam, like her star sign or her?
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't, because all of that her birth is human birth is unknown. Her time of remaking is unknown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and don't forget, a lot of this, since World of All Souls came out before Times Convert, none of the information that we get in Times Convert has been incorporated in this. So
this is true. Okay.
It's more of a snapshot than a true reference volume. So.
All right. Well, let's talk about her in Times Convert. What were your impressions when you read about Miriam in Times Convert?
God, she was like really a super old school kind of noble family parent, as in let the servants raise the kids. Hands off in a lot of ways. She had a lot of rules, but she was very hands off.
I think that was more her style anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She was very hands off on the whole thing. And I almost wonder in some ways whether it's because she was, I don't want to say scared, but not confident in her ability to parent given what had happened with both of her daughters.
Both of them died. And we never got any details about those deaths either.
The details we did get is like, did not end well.
Oof.
So,
yeah,
which is kind of impression I personally got. It was like she let so much of it to Freya to do. Because, I mean, if you look at it, she did a pretty damn good job with Marcus after the clusterfuck that Matthew started it off as. Jesus.
Matthew was a terrible parent.
Matthew and Miriam both struck me as old school, like a 50s parent where the dad, when you play T-ball, I'm not going to be involved. But when you get to baseball, I'm all in,
Yeah. Get back to me when you're like fully formed. I'll talk to you later.
Right, exactly.
Get on the boat. Galga's going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Laters. But back to Miriam, I feel like she was hands off. I feel like, I don't know, when I think about the only person I can compare it to in my own life is my father, who worked full time, came home, drank his little drink, watched his little TV, said good night, kids. He was the disciplinarian. He was the one, he was the one that my mom referred problems to.
Your dad and my dad both, and my dad was out of town a lot.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah, my father too.
So did you have the threat of wait till your father gets home? And Gene, in your case,
yes.
you're like, oh shit, I'm worried for weeks now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think a lot of my respect for my father for a good period of time in my childhood was fear.
Sure.
It wasn't, that's my daddy. It was fear. Mm-hmm. It's like you want to please him, but ultimately the man scares the shit out of you.
Right.
And I feel like Miriam was the same kind of parent.
I agree. I kind of agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing with my father, he would give you rope to hang yourself with.
Ooh,
be like, okay,
that's even
go
worse.
ahead and do this. Let your choices be your own. But
yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I feel like Miriam, when she let Phoebe go out on the town with her sunglasses and,
Yeah.
came back and she was like, yeah, how'd that go for you?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll listen to me next time. So I do feel like she was the head of her clan. So maybe this is the style she was used to disciplining the people under her. Not unlike Philippe. Philippe was kind of the same way, where Isabel would coddle Matthew and Philippe be like, you know what? I'm tired of you. Something to think about. But anything stand out for you about Miriam in Times Convert?
I kind of like that little bit with Sonia because we got to see a sociable side of her.
Yeah.
That really stood out for me because it was like, oh, wait, she's got a whole life outside of all this de Clermont bullshit.
Right.
Which I kind
of
of like.
She kept saying to Phoebe, this is grown people talk.
I know.
So, yeah, Phoebe. Oh, wow.
It was very like Mad Men in a way.
Yeah.
Mad Men parenting in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah. So it's that same kind of thing where it's like adults are talking. You need to shut your trap.
Children should be seen and not heard, including vampire children.
Exactly. I know you think you're grown, but sit down. Have a seat.
Yeah, you've got a lot to learn.
Have several seats.
So let me introduce a new facet. She's godmother to Rebecca. How do you think that'll go?
I think she'll be better at being a godmother than she will be at being a mother.
What makes you think that? I'm curious.
It's not all on her.
That's true. She can give her back.
Well, I mean, there's also 4 or 5 godparents involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think she may be surprising in that role, just same way Baldwin's very surprising in that role.
As a uncle to Becca.
Yeah. And a god.
I don't know that her relationship is genuine or not with Rebecca, but Baldwin's just maybe because we're shown it. It just seems genuine.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen her relationship with Becca yet.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before with Baldwin to veer off the Miriam, but Baldwin, I don't think a lot of people like him. And I think this is in the story as well as, fans. Mm-hmm. But more so since the TV, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Within the world of the book, a lot of people don't give him a chance.
And he's not shown a lot of affection. So maybe Becca is the first
she just
being to show him some kind of affection.
That we've seen in the book. Yeah.
That we've seen. And so he's going to respond in kind. Because you like people who like you. Yeah. It's just nature.
It's human nature.
So
especially a kid. I mean, when a kid gravitates towards you, you're like, okay.
But the other thing is kids and dogs can see beyond all the artifice and see into your...
Oh, animals do sense that. They
your soul.
Friend or foe. Yeah. They know right away.
And toddlers are the same way too. They know friend or foe right away.
Yeah. So if you see a toddler or a dog or a cat shying away from somebody, look twice.
Yeah.
Side eye them.
Side eye. My dog shies away from somebody. I'm like, you get out. You can get out of my house right now. Thanks.
My dog has only shied away, growled at somebody, only one person. And I had to take him down to the basement because my dog is big. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with that kid? Because Growler, all you got to do is give him a milk bone and he's your best friend. He'll show you where my jewelry is. So, but I had to really think. His hackles went up.
Oh my God.
I was like, wow, I'm taking the dog down to the basement because I'm not about to get sued by this kid's parents.
Yeah. Right. And the fact that his hackles went up told you, and he's probably kind of that kind of person right there.
Yeah. And then when the next time I saw, this is when Asa was like 14 or 15. Next time I saw Asa and I was like, what is up with your friend? And He's like, I don't know. I'm like, is he scared of dogs? There's this.
Yeah.
He gave out a bad vibe where Rowler doesn't dislike anybody. He barks really loud, and he's a good guard dog that way.
Yeah.
However, this dog is a freaking teddy bear.
He's a pushover.
He's a teddy bear. He likes anyone who pays him attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's that.
So did you ever find out what the deal was with this kid down the road, or?
No, never.
Huh.
I mean, it's just weird. It could have been he was having an off day, or maybe he kicked a dog that day.
That's a perfect illustration. Yeah. Oh, he was a serial killer in training. Could be anything.
Yeah. Maybe he kills squirrels. I don't know. They always say serial killers start that way. Killing small animals.
No, it starts with killing people on Sims.
Okay, audience, that was on the after show. So if you're interested, patreon.com/DemonsDiscuss, okay? Oh my goodness. Anything else about Miriam that you can think of before we end this Miriam discussion?
I can't wait to see where her character goes. This is my suspicion.
Total speculation, everybody.
Speculation is that maybe purple notebook is Miriam.
Perhaps. I was thinking Baldwin there.
I think Baldwin's notebook's going to be gold.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my guess. I was reading color psychology when Deb says, I've got a purple notebook now, because I was like, okay, yeah, purple does mean royalty, but it means a whole bunch of other things too. And it's the other things that purple can symbolize was what made me kind of veer away from him. And then I started reading other colors, and gold fits a lot of him, and it's not just his love of money.
Let's get the audience involved in this. Audience. Deb said she was working on a book, and the book is her notepad for that book is purple.
For that character is purple, yes.
For that character is purple. So she's currently working on this purple notepad.
I'll give you guys some extra clues.
Okay, go ahead.
Matthew's black, Marcus was red, and Gallowglass is green.
Okay. So do we want to give up a multiple choice? I mean, we'll save these answers for when she actually reveals the book.
Yeah.
Maybe we give out a little prize. Fuck
there
it.
You go.
Let's do it.
Email in your guesses. We'll also open this up in the discusser group, and we'll do a dedicated post, and y'all can put your guesses there, and we'll see who wins.
Okay, so if you're not in the discusser group, you can join the discusser group. It's going to take you a while because I only log into that thing maybe once every 2 weeks, but just be patient. The way to get into that is in the episode notes and in the show notes if you go to the website. If you want to become a discusser and you're not a discusser, go to demonsdiscuss@gmail.com. Put your name and email address on that little form. Send it in. And you'll become a discusser that way. The turnaround is a lot faster on that. Also, if you just want to write in, email us at demonsdiscuss@gmail.com and give us your best guess. We'll put these away in an archive as you write in. I'll put it in I'll make a special folder.
Ooh,
in our
can we do a spreadsheet?
Box. Not till later.
Not till later.
Not till later. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll save all your answers. And the winner of that, once Deb reveals who she's working on, what character she's writing on, we will send a little thing. Yay. I love giveaways. Anything else, Angela? You?
No, I don't. I actually look forward to, same with my wishes for Gerbert and Domenico. I hope we do get to see Miriam in series 2, even 1590s. What was she up to?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. That would be so much fun.
I can't wait to hear anything about her. I mean, just anything in the future. Mm-hmm. If they do a book or if she is in the next book, she's got to be in the next book. She's almost larger than life now to me.
That's why I want the next book to be her book.
I think they're all going to be in all the books, honestly. I think it's going to be like a Times Convert present day where they flit in and out.
Yeah, little glimpses of them.
Well, unless, of course, Serpent's Mirror finally gets done.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. Oh.
Miriam is assigned to Matthew in
oh, God.
the 1500s.
My wounds.
Oh, better, worse yet, she's babysitting Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
In the French court, which kind of would make sense if you stick Miriam in with, who was it that Anne and Mary went to train with or became part of their court when they were young.
Yeah.
Was it Margot? Yeah, was it Margot or Flanders? I can't remember now. But she's mentioned in Christine Pizan's book. So there's that.
Do you know the name of the book so I can put it in the show notes just in case people get interested?
I'll give it to you for the show notes. It's a well-known treatise about women and medieval women. It was written in medieval times about women and women's power. It's kind of a proto-feminist manifesto.
Excellent.
It's called The City of Women. That's what it's called.
The City of Women, and I'll put that in the show notes, guys.
Okay.
I'll put a link. Okay, so if nobody else has anything else to say, we are going to go on to housekeeping, and housekeeping was brought to you by Jody Cozy.
Hey, Jody Cozy.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jody.
Housekeeping.
I have a surprise for us for housekeeping. I've decided to go on my desk and pull out a couple of snail mails.
Oh my goodness. We get snail mails?
We do. We got a postcard from Julie B. And she says, "Dear Demons, I am so enjoying the series episodes.
Yay.
Keep up the great work. Demon kisses." And she sent this on a postcard, and I will put a picture of it because it's so cute. It's a library.
Oh, how fun.
I don't know.
I hope Julie, did you survive the Masters? Let us know. Remember, she got her Fitzio shirt for Masters Week, and she's down in that part of Georgia.
Yes. Okay. And audience, if you're interested in the Fitzio shirt, aka Fuck This Shit I'm Out shirt, you can purchase that at go.demonsdiscuss.com/shop. Yay. I'm so glad we put a pretty link on that.
I know.
/AB_.
Right. Okay, so this next one is a card we recently got, and this is from Renee from the All Souls discussion group. She was recently a guest with us, and
what we get?
Okay, Yay! So on the front, she sent over 3 packages, all from Wawa.
Yes, Wawa!
All items from Wawa.
Yay!
And she sent this card, and the front of the card, it's very happy. It says, "You made my day."
Aww.
And I will read it. It's so lovely. It says, "Angela, Jean, and Val, thank you so much for letting me hang out with you on the podcast. I had the best time ever. It was so much fun chatting about the show, this crazy little world we play in, and I really love the t-shirt and the swag. And above all things, that I can call you friends. How great is that? It's pretty damn awesome. You ladies are the best. Love, Renee."
Oh, love you too, Renee.
Thank you. Back at you.
And there's a PS here. "Since I think of you guys every time in a Wawa, I grabbed you a few things. Sorry, mac and cheese doesn't ship well." Oh, Wawa's mac and cheese. My God, you guys. I can't even describe it.
Well, we're going to have to find a Wawa on one of our adventures so I can partake of this.
Yeah, we're going to have
ambrosia
to stop by.
of the cheese gods.
And she said, also passing along an honorary Philly Conventicle badges. "I know you'll prefer the demon one, but I sent the others in case you ever want to go incognito. Thanks again for everything." And this was from Renee. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.
I didn't even thank her on Messenger. I just wanted her to hear this on the podcast. So thank you so much. And I'm going to do an unwrapping of the package she sent. I'm going to just open mine. I'll bring you guys to the con. So,
yay.
In this package, I am opening it up. She sent us a Goldenberg's Peanut Chew, original dark. I suppose that's chocolate and peanuts.
Ooh.
Yay.
Yummy.
A package of Wawa black tea. Yay. And then a little Wawa coffee thin. It's the edible coffee treat, 100% Colombian.
Ooh.
Thank you.
And then also in here, she has included the badges for the
Philly Conventicle.
Philly, New Jersey, Delaware Conventicle.
Yay.
I would say the Mid-Atlantic Conventicle. She sent us a demon version, just like the books. It's yellow.
Ooh.
A lovely witch version, just like the books, and Times Convert for that special edition. This one's blue. We have the vampire version, red. So she sent us all 3.
Oh, so we can hide out if we need to.
Yeah, we can, show up at one of their conventicles and say, "Yeah, we belong. What's up?"
Hey.
I'm not a demon. I'm a witch. See,
Right.
my badge says so.
Right here.
But yeah,
right here.
That's what we got. So thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.
That's so lovely. Anyway, that's all we have for housekeeping. Just kind of boring today, but actually it's really cool.
Yes.
I like these badges. They're awesome.
And snail mail is so much fun to get.
Yeah, it is.
I love sending it out. I love getting it, but I feel like we get a lot of snail mail, little things from our listeners here and there. And, I just put them aside for just in case. Maybe I want to share them. Maybe I don't. I send the girls pictures every time I get them. You can't act like
Matthew and Pierre and put aside the gifts that are left on the doorstep. That's just not right.
No, I have to share.
Well, Pierre only did it because Matthew said.
Yeah, I know. It's all Matthew's fault.
All right, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for Save It for the Show?
Yes.
This episode, Save It for the Show, is brought to you by Eric Ravensclaw.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Save it for the show.
Save it for the show.
Guys, save it for the show.
What was the topic of Save It for the Show again?
So many people are coming into the fandom thanks to the AMC, BBC America showing of the first season. I mean, like, huge amounts of people. It's kind of cool.
So the topic would be welcome BBC America and AMC watchers.
Yes.
To the fandom. Mm-hmm. Yay.
I know. So much fun. And a lot of them are just new to the books and new to everything. Impressionable minds. Yay.
Do you find when you traverse the Facebook space, you're the one that goes group to group occasionally, do you find a lot of people watch a TV show and then are really curious about the books?
Yes. I'm seeing a lot of that lately.
I would think I would be that way too.
Well, yeah. And I think a lot of it is because Dub's vampires are a little bit different. And I think it intrigues people. Hell, it even intrigues Al. Although he was kind of like, well, wait a minute. What are they doing out in the daylight? He knows enough about vampires to know that you shouldn't be out. Why are they out in the daylight? Wait a minute.
Oh.
That kind of, he knows like the old school rules. And he's like, are you sure these are vampires? I'm like, yes. Those rules are not really rules. They're all just human constructs.
Yes. All myths.
Not saying he's...
So has he been watching?
Yes, he's watching it we're watching it together on Sunday night. His big bitch was he wanted the stag to be turned into a vampire stag because he's just twisted that way.
Oh, see, now in our house on Sundays, it's Game of Thrones, and I'm sure we can DVR it, but we DVR so many shows as it is.
Yeah.
And usually Sunday nights, I'm going off to work, and Robert's left to his own devices.
For us, I think we're just going to box set Game of Thrones because it was like way too much to get caught up over the summer just to watch this final season.
Yeah.
So
my mom and Brad are caught up to Game of Thrones, oddly enough. But we're a Billions family on Sunday nights.
Oh, yeah.
See, we would be a Billions family before Game of Thrones family, too, I think.
I see. I haven't ventured into that yet.
I've watched a couple of episodes. It's awesome.
It's so smart. They incorporate so much. I don't know. It's like it's Easter egg heaven, really. You don't even realize it, but it's completely Easter egg heaven around this whole cat and mouse plot. And you never know who's going to get who. You think, okay, well, it's the prosecutors going after the hedge fund. But it's not. It's inner politics. It's
what
you
all
least
this
expect.
internecine politics and everything else. It's kind of like House of Cards.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
And that's kind of the two shows I referenced. Brad was saying something. Well, that can't happen. I said, don't you watch Billions and House of Cards? Of course it can happen. That's how they do things.
Man,
that's how things work.
Right.
I realize it's not a politically correct thing to do, Kevin Spacey notwithstanding, but damn, I like that show. It is so convoluted.
It's so scary.
It's like it's like the dark side of the West Wing.
Yes, true.
Which is kind of funny because we're watching we started watching House of Cards, and then Netflix has all of the West Wing episodes. And in the last week or so, Al and I are like, ooh, West Wing. I don't remember. It's like, I don't remember.
West Wing was very feel good to me, though.
No, that's exactly my point. It's like,
yeah, I know.
It's like, you almost have to watch some West Wing after House of Cards because otherwise you'd never sleep at night.
Right. That's what I mean. It's scary.
It's like you need the brain bleach of Josiah Bartlett and the idealism of Sam Seaborn to like be able to function.
I know. Well, okay, we'll get back to a Discovery, which is here in a minute.
Yes.
But House of Cards. So that last season where Kevin Spacey wasn't on it. What did you think of
I
that?
haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
But I'm loving her character. She is very Lady Macbeth already, and we're only in like season 2.
Okay. I won't spoil it because I've watched the whole House of Cards and I see what's going on. And then when certain people say that's fake news, I'm like, no, I think that's real, actually.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I've seen House of Cards.
Which, okay, maybe this isn't correct either, but Billions made a Spacey reference. They're like, because they got screwed over, they're like, we took it from behind, Spacey style. No, he said sneaky and Spacey style.
Oh my God.
But they're always making references like that. I mean,
like really, their writers' room is so in tune to like exactly what's going on in pop culture on Billions, which is part of the reason that show is just so fascinating.
So back to Discovery Witches.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the topic at hand. You know what? Go ahead, Jean.
But the beautiful thing about Back to Discovery Witches, there's all these smart shows that are on Sunday night, and look at the numbers it's drawing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing really, really well.
So have you guys been watching it on AMC?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does Brad think?
He likes it. I mean, the second time around, he liked it the first time around, but then he got caught in the middle there where he's like, oh, it's a love story. You know, that's exactly how I was too. But, but now he likes it. He does like it. He's engaged. So.
Okay, good. Yeah. Cause it only gets more violent after the love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Violent and crazy.
And double crossing and Then
the congregation is like, I don't know. It's kind of a more cartoonish version of House of Cards.
Yeah.
A shorthand version of House of Cards.
Yeah.
But I see the people on Twitter live tweeting and their observations are interesting. They're astute. They're funny. I don't see a whole lot of negative. There is a little bit of negative out there, but it's almost
as
like
all things.
But it's more like not seeing the big picture. Like, okay, just wait. There's more. Okay, you might not think that's believable, but just wait. It'll become believable.
You'll get sucked in at one point.
Yeah.
There'll be a point.
There will be a point.
Even someone tweeted, I'm hate tweeting. I mean, I'm hate watching A Discovery of Witches, and I can't stop. I'm like, are you really though? Are you really hate watching by this point?
You can't stop. It's not hate watching.
Right.
Yeah. When you're saying you're hate watching, what you're really doing is saying, I really don't want to like this, but I like the fuck out of this.
But by and large, the reaction is so positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think I scheduled our post for episode 4 coming up, which will be out by the time. No, actually, episode 4. Yeah, it'll be out by the time. You guys will be going on episode 5 by the time this episode of ours comes out. So, yeah. I scheduled episode 4 for a Monday.
Can we mention our giveaway?
We can. We decided to do that. Yeah, after they hear this, the giveaway will be up. So, go ahead, Angela. I'm going to let you.
We're having what we're calling a mid-season giveaway, and we're going to give away. Should we reveal the prizes here because it'll be up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're giving away the TV tie-in. The cover is Matthew Good and Teresa Palmer as Matthew and Diana, and then we're partnering with All Souls Illustrated and our wonderful friend Karen, and she's giving away 5 beautifully inspired by the All Souls trilogy prints.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, so prints / postcards, however you want to display them.
They're so pretty. She's doing the All Souls Con badge as well. And I think one of those illustrations will be up for grabs too. From the picture you showed me. So this episode, I have to keep myself straight in the timeline here. This episode will be out, and then the next week, look out for that giveaway. We'll start it the Monday. Oh my God. Yay! Woo-hoo! That's right, audience. Next week, look out for that giveaway. It's open to all. And thank you, Karen.
Yeah, and don't forget the AMC sweepstakes giveaway.
Oh, AMC sweepstakes. That's right. That's going to go on to when did we establish?
I think it's May 3rd. It's till the end of the show run.
Okay, May 3rd. We will have a link to that in the show notes. Make sure you enter. Yes, you have to be a U.S. resident of the lower 48 states. So Alaska and Hawaii, sorry, guys. Everybody overseas, sorry, guys. It is put on by AMC. AMC is an American network. So maybe poke your own broadcasters and say, hey, can we have a sweepstakes? Can we have a giveaway? Something, but I'll put the link for that in the show notes. And the trip is 2 tickets to All Souls Con, airfare, I believe airfare,
hotel, and 2 tickets to the con.
All you need is your passport. Don't be like us, like, oh my God.
No, you're not like us because we both have our passport.
We have our passport.
And my card came, so.
Hey.
I'm fancy.
So fancy. Angela, nothing yet?
May 1st, it says.
Yeah.
May 1st. All right. Almost there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're almost all legal.
Yeah. I laughed because Al took a look at it and goes, they're going to send you into that small room because you look like a terrorist. You over there.
Well, you guys saw my passport picture. Robert's like, oh, you got your passport. I was like, yeah. He's like, where's it? I was like, it's locked away and you can't see it.
I made the mistake of letting him see mine. It's like, this is the grief I got.
It was a bad day in Costco that day. My hair was wet. I just looked like, who brought her in? Who drug her in?
CVS was like, you cannot smile. You are not allowed to smile.
I was just going to say that. Tip to anyone who's going to apply for a passport, you can smile and you should smile if a smile is natural.
Even the guy at the post office looked at it and he goes, you went to CVS, didn't you? I said, yeah. And he told me I couldn't smile. He goes, yeah, they tell everybody that. They shouldn't be doing that.
Well, I had someone at the post office. She's like, well, they don't like you to smile. So I didn't smile. So it was her fault too.
Well, I just laughed because the passport officer at our post office is like, yeah, you went to CVS. Like, yeah.
The clerk over at the courthouse was like, she was all harried because it was family court day. And so there was screaming ladies because they have just been separated from their children. And it was so heartbreaking. I'm serious. I'm standing in line going, oh my God, really? This is on this floor? This is supposed to be a happy trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, yeah, it's family court day. Anyway, where are you going? So, yeah, we're about to be passported up. And if you win that giveaway, you'll get to see us. You'll meet other people too. You'll meet Laura. You'll meet Karen. You'll meet, I think, Kate from Chamomile and Clove is going. Lots of our discussers are going, and all the names you hear us read on this podcast. Deb will be there, and who knows who else will be there. I was being mysterious.
A lot of our it's going to be a lot of discussers there. So look for some shenanigans off ours.
Yep. And I'm going to say it on the public show. We are planning a small, intimate Demon Hour, not an all call. So if you're going to be there, you'll have the details and you'll know where to go. We don't know where we're going yet. Is it the same place, Jean?
I'm hoping it's going to. I'm hoping it is. I'm thinking it is.
All right.
For you folks who aren't in the discussers group, shoot us an email if you're going to be there.
Yeah, let us know.
Or even just respond on one of the discusser emails you get.
Yeah, saying, hey, I'm going to be at All Souls Con, so where do I need to go? And most likely I'm going to write you back and say, I don't know yet. I got to check with Jean. But
well, we'll send out a blast email before we leave the country for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, anything else before we move on to last thoughts and things we cannot let go of? Going once, going twice, nothing? So all right. Stand by, listen to us, our little promo break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about last thoughts. Yay!
Woohoo! Find this show wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Contact us. We are at demonsdiscuss@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, 360-519-7836. Or leave us one on SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/demonsdiscuss. Hit us up on social media, and we are at Demons Discuss or at Demons Domain. Join our Facebook group, Demonic Discussers. The keys to get in are in the show notes. And if you're listening on your mobile device, click the description. It'll be there too. Become a discusser. And there are 2 ways to do that now. And if you're in the U.S., text ADOW as in ADOW, as in a discovery of witches. So text ADOW to 444-999 or visit demonsdiscuss.com. Scroll down, fill out the form and spammer code, and that's it. You're a discusser. Visit our main site, demonsdomain.com, to see what we're up to. And if you like what you hear, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Keep Angela alive!
Okay, any last thoughts? Okay, while you guys are thinking, I'm going to bring up that All Souls Con only has about 20 tickets left.
That's it.
So if you're interested, go to allsoulscon.org/tickets And if you're in the UK, it's right in your backyard. If you're not, it'd be a nice trip to the UK, provided you have your passport and proper information.
And get on those hotel rooms because Man United and is it Real Milan? Or is it Milan AC are playing in town that weekend now, too. Yay.
Oh, gosh. Manchester United. You know how crazy it gets around those games.
We really get the full experience now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Say, not only do we get footy, we get Manchester United, which is an extraordinarily well-traveled team. So Cardiff is going to be nuts.
Ole, 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 ole.
Do they have? Is this the sport that they have those horns?
Yes.
I hate those.
The air horns are very popular. You guys have not been surrounded by this. This will be a new thing, and I'm going to giggle because, oh my God.
Well,
oh my God.
I think the experience I had back in the dawn of time is probably just an itty bitty inkling of it because we had World Cup games in Detroit and the team playing at the time was Brazil and it was nuts. It was nuts because people traveled because Brazil was playing footy and the Formula One Grand Prix was the same weekend. And that was when Ayrton Senna was alive and driving. And it was insane.
Yeah. Wasn't there a little resurgence here in the U.S. a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And then now it's gone again.
Yeah. I think it was more thanks to the girls than the guys.
Yeah.
The women's soccer team was so wonderful.
I happened to be in Italy some year in the 80s where I happened to be in Rome when Italy won the World Cup. And oh my God, I don't even remember how old I was, maybe 12, 13. And I was standing on the balcony of the hotel and couldn't believe all the cars honking their horns, the big Italian flags waving back and forth. And I was like, wow, what the hell? And this is before football was a huge thing in the U.S. or baseball. Well, baseball was kind of more huge in the U.S. than football was at the time, but people go nuts. I mean, I have never seen anything nuts like that. No, not since the Seahawks won. The Seahawks won, even my street kind of went nuts.
We don't really have anything that's supported by the country, a team that's supported by the country. The only thing I could think would be the closest that might happen
Olympics
is the U.S. Soccer team when they played USSR back in the 80s.
Yeah. And, the Olympics, if we win, if we happen to win soccer.
Yeah, but that's
be a
nothing.
Big deal.
That's nothing that we would go out into the streets for.
No. There'd be a bunch of bandwagoners, though. Yeah. All of a sudden, they'd be interested for about 6 months and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure if you want to go to the con, make sure you book your hotel early. Make sure you have your passport. Buy tickets; they're cheap. Didn't Renee say they're pretty cheap right now?
I know Renee said she got a Virgin Atlantic flight for like $450 out of New Jersey.
That's
so
great.
If you're East Coast, jump on Virgin Atlantic and see what kind of deals they got.
Even if you're not East Coast, I mean West Coast, my nonstop flight was cheaper than the ones with stops. So you never know. Just check around.
Yeah, it's kind of flaky right now. It was cheaper for me to fly up to Chicago and fly out with Angela than it was to fly direct from Dallas. It's just weird.
So there's that. Okay, on to you guys' last thought, because that was mine.
Fine, be that way. Well, I think I kind of blew my last thought when I talked about the Purple Notebook. But
okay,
yeah, I'm excited to find out just exactly what Miss Deb has up her sleeve, because it seems like she's been awfully busy doing an awful lot of writing. I think she's
writing about a lot of people, though.
Yeah, I think she's got herself on a timetable to at least get one of them done before the end of the year, from what she has said so far. Because I think she's planning on having a book in the editor's hands by Christmas.
That was from her Facebook Live,
yes.
Her last one. Okay, I'll make sure I put that in the show notes.
Yes, that was
too,
from her last.
She tweeted this morning that Gallo Glass is not going to be for a number of years.
Okay.
She just started her research.
I'm a little relieved, though. Okay, don't kill me, audience. I know there's a lot of Gallo Glass fans out there. Shelley, I'm looking at you.
Oh, Shelley.
Anyway.
Shelley's an understanding Gallo Glass fan, though. She's realistic.
Yeah, she is. I need a break from Gallo Glass. I need him to wander the earth for a while and think about what he did.
I mean, he needs to get his shit together, because he's been the spoiled grandson for way, way, way too many years.
Now, I'm not taking away for all the good things he did as far as looking over Diana, making sure she got in trouble with Rudolph, killing all those people. But his motivation might have been skewed.
Well, I was going to say, I'd act spoiled too, just for all the shit you made me do.
But yeah, I need a break from Galaglass. He's on timeout with me.
I need Galaglass and Hancock together because I need the steadying wit of Hancock.
Yeah.
Is what I need.
I look at it that I don't know. I mean, yes, of course I want Serpent Smear. I always want Serpent Smear today.
My wounds again.
But I don't really care. That's the one thing that Deb has taught me about Book of Life, not about me, about Times Convert. I don't even know what I want. You're telling me what I want, and I'll gladly take it. So if it's Galaglass,
there's so much to want. Yeah. Well, and what I'm dying to find out is she always talks about taking research trips for her writing. Yes. Remember several years ago when she in Istanbul
and all those spices
when she was off hither, thither, and yon. I am dying to see where and how that ends up in a book. Because that seems to me we may be looking at some Crusader era stuff, which I would love. Maybe some backstory with Godfrey and Hugh.
Okay, see, I'm watching you do it. I don't want your heart to break.
No, my heart won't.
I can't.
My heart won't break because I want it all. I'm very Veruca Salt on this one. I'll take whatever I can get, and I want it all. So she needs to start writing faster.
You know, Angela, when you said she's telling you what you want, that's Steve Jobs' philosophy. It's like you didn't even know you want this.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You want it. Yeah.
And I gave you my boss analogy the other day. Deb, serve me the food you want me to eat.
Yes. Yes. What do you suggest?
Yes.
I know. No, I'm not. My heart's not going to be broken because I think we'll get all of it eventually. And like Angela said, we'll love it. I think I know I'll love it because I see a lot of naysaying with the Times Convert, and it's like,
I think they were expecting a different book.
No, they were expecting part 4 of the Matthew and Diana trilogy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you got part of that. I mean, to me, I wasn't expecting that.
You got a bunch of epilogue in there for Matthew and Diana, and I'm still a little bit miffed that Diana's the only one that's in the first person, but that's an issue between me and my God.
Yeah.
See, that's another example of why I'll just take whatever, because I didn't think I'd like the twins. And not them personally, but a story about the twins. But I loved that. I loved every section of Times Convert.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. Me, I was kind of anti-twins because everybody's like, oh my God, the twins. And even Deb was kind of like, well, what are you going to do with toddlers? And then she figured out some way to make them interesting.
Yeah. I was definitely in the camp was what's so interesting about these little people?
Well, these little people are a great, to me, as we sit here now, those little people are a great catalyst for everybody else. I mean,
yeah. How they react to them.
Yeah.
And it brings out a lot of personality in like Agatha in the books previously. I mean, we got to see a lot more of Agatha in the show.
The Times Convert Agatha was a lot more Tanya Agatha.
Yes.
She was very...
And she dressed up Sarah kind of funny, which was awesome.
Yeah. She was kind of Earth Mama and ground. She was way more grounded than Discovery of Witches Agatha.
Yes, I agree. We only got a glimpse of Agatha in the Discovery of Witches, and I'm glad we got to see more of her, both in Times Convert and on the TV show. So that was great.
The thing with the twins is Deb gets to break new ground. She can make totally new rules because there's never been children vampire witch hybrids.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing we read about. She just put down some basic things in Book of Life saying, okay, they live longer than a witch, than a warm blood. And, they can be more witch than vampire, more vampire than witch. They did exist. So what we're seeing now is, wow.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to spoil it for you people that haven't read it. So
it's going to be fun.
That was tough when we had Times Convert. I'm like, what if I blurt out something by accident?
Oh my God. I mean, the whole being also so surreptitious in line at the con.
Yes.
Jesus. And then Deb's like, so what do you think?
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, no, we haven't read that yet.
So much for being discreet. She just looked at us like, bullshit, you read it.
Well, I know we're trying to slip her the arcs to have them sign, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh my God, Debs, you just gave us away. Thanks, right? Thanks a lot, pal." But yeah, that was cool.
Anyway, that's my last thought.
Okay. Jean and Angela both had a combined last thought. Okay, so anything else? Anything else before we say goodbye, everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Mwah. Demon kiss.
And we'll talk to you in a fortnight, everybody. Bye.
Bye.